Now that we've discussed creating sketch geometry and constraining it, it's time to talk about adding dimensions to our sketch. There are two ways to add dimensions to your sketch. The first is to add dimensions as you're sketching. The second is to sketch your geometry, then come back and add dimensions later. To add dimensions as you're sketching, simply type in a number and hit Enter immediately after sketching your geometry. So for example, here I'm sketching a line, and immediately after I finish placing the line, I type in a dimension and hit Enter, and you can see the dimension for the length of the line has been added. This applies to nearly all sketch tools like circles, rectangles, arcs, and more. If defining your geometry requires two dimensions like it does in this rectangle, you will start by entering the horizontal dimension, then hitting Enter. Then it will automatically take you to the vertical dimension, type that in, and hit Enter. The second technique for adding dimensions is adding them after you've finished sketching that geometry. To do this, select the Dimension command from the toolbar, then left-click on the entity or entities that you want to dimension. Finally, move your cursor to where you want to place the dimension and left-click one final time. Then enter the value you want for your dimension and hit Enter. Notice that your sketch will scale to match that first dimension. If you're a fan of keyboard shortcuts, the D key on the keyboard can also be used to select the Dimension command. The process is the same regardless of the sketch geometry that you want to dimension. For instance, to dimension the distance between 2 points, simply select the Dimension command from the toolbar and left-click each point. Then move the dimension to where you want to place it and left-click, then just type in a value and hit Enter. Another example would be to dimension the inside or outside of an arc or circle. In Onshape, you simply select that part of the arc or circle for your dimension, and Onshape automatically adds the dimension from the correct location. Another example would be angle dimensions. Simply select two lines that are not parallel, and you will automatically get an angle dimension. Finally, if you need to edit a dimension, you can double-click the dimension in the graphics, enter a new value, and hit Enter. If you want to delete a dimension, simply select the dimension from the graphics and hit the Delete key on the keyboard.